Hey y'all, it's spooky season and I'm back with my spooky season TBR and to give book reviews for books 1 through 3 of The Secret World of Maggie Gray by Granger. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Books with Kimberly. Don't forget to like, comment, share my channel, and subscribe. Y'all, it is spooky season. I really didn't plan on reading a lot for spooky season. I knew that I wanted to read the Secret World of Maggie Gray series by Granger. I have been holding on to this series for over a year because people have been talking about it consistently. I'm glad that I waited until later to start this series because by now she has 4 books in the series. The first 3 have to do with the main characters of this book, and then her 4th book is Mortal Affairs, and this book is about some more characters, but it is a part of the Maggie Gray world. So I'm really excited to talk about this series, and I also want to shout out this author because all 4 of these books, I was able to download them for free. Every now and then, she will drop the price of her ebooks to $0, which allows readers to download these ebooks for free. So I absolutely love that she does that. So let's get into my spooky TBR list. To be honest, last year's spooky season was not giving what it needed to give. So I only planned on reading the Maggie Gray series and then some other books that I've heard are thrillers or mysteries by Black authors. I decided that maybe I'll start these books in October as well. The first book is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I know I probably butchered her name, but The Reformatory, I see this book a lot. And I heard some mixed reviews. Some people say it's amazing. Some people say it's a hard read and they DNF'd it. So I am a little bit iffy about starting this one, but it is on my spooky TBR list, so we'll see what happens. The other book is All Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. People really love S.A. Cosby books. He's a Black male author, and he does thriller mystery books as well. I have read Razor Blade Tears by him, which was very well written. I gave the book 4 stars. It was a lot of action, a big mystery going on, but it honestly was not my type of book. I don't know, I just didn't love it. I know that's an unpopular opinion because his books are loved. But I do want to give him a second chance, and by this being spooky season, I decided that maybe I'll add All Sinners Bleed to my spooky TBR list for this year. The next book is actually a current read of mine, and that book is Blood Moon by Britney S. Lewis. This cover just drew me in. I had no clue what this book was about. I've been seeing this author all over TikTok promoting her book, and she calls it like the Black Twilight. Just going off of that, I'm expecting Black vampires, Black werewolves, and the main character is Black. I'm interested in seeing if I like this one. And y'all, I just found out that the Tiffany D. Jackson just released on October the 7th a new book called The Scammer. So I have to find time to read that one. I already was excited because I've been enjoying The Secret World of Maggie Gray, but now that I know Tiffany D. Jackson dropped the book, I am super excited about this spooky season. So now let's get into The Secret World of Maggie Gray. I have to start off by saying that Granger has done something very incredible for me as a reader, and that is build 2 worlds where I can actually see myself in these worlds. I spoke about her last year when I read the Perfect Sister series. She wrote those books under her pen name Desiree, which I think she does not use that pen name anymore. She's strictly Granger now. But the Perfect Sister series, even though it needed a lot of editing, and so does The Secret World of Maggie Gray, that book series, I literally ate those books up, gave a lot of them 5s and 4s. I put Perfect Sister 1 and 2 together, and they ended up getting that number 2 spot on my list of favorite books for 2024. Granger just does a great job of really creating worlds, fantasy worlds, sci-fi worlds, where I, as a Black woman in her 30s, can see myself in this book, in these characters, interacting with these characters, and I just think that is so magical. Of course, I read a lot of books by Black authors who write about Black characters, and I love representation, but I feel like Granger takes it a step further because these books, it just gives you that for us, by us feeling. This book series, The Secret World of Maggie Gray, is fantasy. It takes place at Drew Collins University, which is a magical HBCU in this underground society. The book starts off where Maggie Gray is in her master's program at a PWI, and she's trying to figure out how she's going to make a good grade by doing this presentation on Civil War, and I think how it affects her family. And she tells this story about how her grandmother ended up at a meeting for the underground, which is these mystical people who have powers, shifters, sirens, witches, vampires, and they were talking about how they were at risk of being exposed during the Civil War time and how they were going underground, meaning creating a secret world where they could be safe, have their power, preserve their family lines. Fast forward, Maggie is telling this story about how her grandmother ends up having some kind of relations with Dr. Holmes, who is the founder of Drew Collins University. The Holmes family are vampires, and they are known for having a streak of white in their hair. And so Maggie having a head full of white hair really sells the story that she is a part of this legacy Black family, which also they go by the first family because they were the first creatures created from Gaia, who is this goddess of the moon. We get into this story, and y'all, I immediately just felt like I'm at home. I didn't even go to an HBCU, but I just felt like I could see myself at Drew Collins University. I get it now because I'm late to the party, but I know why people get their t-shirts and their bags and their hoodies. It feels like watching Different World and you just wanted to be at Hillman College. But I just feel like I could be here. And what I love about this mystical university is you can take classes at Drew Collins University up until you are 45 years old. And that is why I say Granger is just a genius at what she does, because this is a world where I can see myself. By this story having characters that are in their 30s, it makes me feel like I could get my letter any day to go to Drew Collins, and I can be a part of this world and live on campus and get to go to the parties and relive my college years. But I can do it differently and learn about my roots. And I love that each character is learning about their roots. They're growing in their abilities, their magical abilities, and we're really getting to see them evolve. And I think that's so beautiful. Asha, the main character, we get their history, the history of the sirens, how they evolved. We have witches and Susie and her family being heavy into the witch community. Then we have the main character, Maggie. We're trying to figure out, is she really a vampire? And so there's so much going on in this story. The first book, which is The Secret World of Maggie Gray, we get introduced to the main characters, which are Susie, Asha, Maggie, and Isis. And so the four of them are forming a group along with Hillary, who is Susie's roommate, and then Quan, the talking cat. And my favorite thing about this story, y'all, because y'all know I am a romance girly, is that Coach Namir, he hates vampires, because of course vampires and werewolves have this feud going on even in this world as well. He hates Maggie and what she represents, but his family is like, Maggie is the key to taking down the first family, the vampires. We are werewolves. We outnumber them. We can get her on our side and use her to take down the first family. So they have Coach Namir, who's been known to be a ladies' man. They ask him to go and seduce Maggie, and he ends up falling for her. So y'all, Maggie and Coach Namir are just giving me the love story that I love. Very cozy. It's giving Fated. It's giving soulmates. And when I get a soulmate story, I'm just sold. I probably will reread this story, all three books, and literally only read the Namir and Maggie chapters and probably Asha. I would read the others too, but I love Maggie and Amir so much, the romance girly in me. And then with Maggie, we get this huge mystery of who she is. What are her magical abilities? So I feel like her chapters are the strongest in this series, whereas the other characters, they're kind of just going through their lives as being students, and everybody has their own storyline, but Maggie's is the strongest. Her and Amir have the strongest chapters and are my favorites. Asha too, because she is a siren who does not know how to swim. They're trying to get her to find her roots, be connected to the other siren community. And so she's just trying to figure out who she is. So that's my second favorite character after Namir and Maggie. One, I gave 4 stars because the plot was just not there. It was really all of them coming together, their day-to-day, them on the quad, them, in their separate dorm rooms, hanging out, really building that found family on this campus. But I loved it anyway. Love Maggie and Amir getting to know each other, other relationships kind of forming. So I love what the story was setting us up for. But because I am a girly who loves a plot-driven story, I couldn't give it 5 stars because that plot was not there. By book 2, which is The First Family, I was completely sold. Book 1 ends on a cliffhanger, and so that cliffhanger carries over into book 2, and there's a huge mystery. There's been a shake up to this friend group, and they're trying to figure out what happened, who's responsible, who did it. So there's this big mystery that they are all trying to solve, and because there is a central main plot in book 2, I loved it even more. I got more Maggie and Amir, their relationship blossoming. He's becoming protective, and he don't play about Maggie. And I'm just here for it. Every time I get the two of them together and him being a little possessive, I just get excited. Him staring her down. We get more information on his family and their motives and how far they'll go to replace the first family as the head of the mystical community. And so the book just continues to develop. And I gave that one 5 stars because I just loved everything about it. By book 3, the mystery was solved from the second book. I believe you kind of get those loose ends tied up within book 3. And then there's another mystery of missing students. The underground is supposed to be safe from humans, but now you have to be worried about the mystical creatures. And is it the vampires? Who's responsible for students at various HBCUs within this underground community disappearing? The third book is called The Three Brothers, and the 3 brothers are Coach Namir, Ty, and Seth. They're all werewolves, and it's kind of like this fight for who's gonna be alpha. So the original title was When a Wolf Loves the Moon, which I love this title because it gives you this feeling that the book is gonna be focusing on Namir and Maggie. But I was really surprised to see that all the other characters and even new characters came into this story. And I really wish it could have focused more on the 3 brothers or even just Maggie and Amir, because both of them had very strong storylines. This plot really felt all over the place because you didn't really get the 3 brothers, them interacting. You didn't get this story really unfolding. And then the missing students, I kind of feel like that wasn't developed as much as it could have been. So I do give this book 4 stars because it was very entertaining. There was some great pledging scenes. It just brought me back to my college days. This book is such a beautiful comfort read. It's cozy. It feels good. I feel like I'm right there with them with my Drew Collins uniform, just enjoying this story and enjoying the ride. And I am just on a high from this series. So yeah, I recommend that y'all read this series this month. Get down in the comments and let me know what books you will be reading this spooky season. Let me know if you have any thriller, mystery recommendations. And thank you again for tuning in to a Books with Kimberly video.